These are some of the styles I had as a content creator over the last year. And the crazy thing is, they didn't feel like me. Every few months, I'd spin my style around into something new, some new collection of ideas from the people I liked and also followed. And because of that, it always seemed fresh to me. But I was actually making a huge mistake. See, it felt fresh to me, but to the outside world, I didn't have an identity. I was a bunch of things, and I never actually let myself truly explore one style for a long time because I'd always just jump to the other. So I tried something. For the last 4 months, I had one style only, and a lot of things changed. In this video, I'm gonna pretty much show you everything that changed, why you should find your own style and then stick to it rather than always constantly changing it, and why this is one of the most important decisions I made for my content. Okay. So I think all of us changed our style a few times in the past. I did it like 6 times, but I finally landed on something that I really like, which is the one you're seeing in my videos. Style is something you take from the people you follow. Like, for example, my style is a combination of Casey Neistat, Gox, and Johnny Harris. And if you really try to look out for these influences in my content, you can actually see them. So if you don't have a style already, the best thing you can do is just consume a lot of content and pick what you like from the videos that you watched. You can't create a style out of thin air. That's the thing. You need influences. You need people that already have a style to kind of guide you. And I already made a video on this a few weeks ago that you can actually check right here that explains all of this and how nothing is really original. And if you watch it, then you'll understand the most important principle in content creation, which is stealing from other creators. Okay, I don't actually mean stealing. I mean more like taking things from their style and combining them with what you like, or doing it in a different way. When I started out, I basically had nothing. Sure, I made videos before, but that was like over 10 years ago, so I really didn't have a style. And the person that influenced me to actually make videos was Gox. I just loved the idea that a YouTube video could have the production value of a movie. That was accessible, and I could do it if I wanted to. His style was creative and cinematic, and it had a lot of cinematic principles in it, like practical lights, using fog to create more depth and texture, and really great composition. So when I saw that, I knew that I'd have to do it too. So I got my camera and I started making cinematic videos, and I sucked. Then I saw this girl, Rem, on Instagram, and she had this really cool way of showing things. So I took some bits and pieces of that and just made even more videos. Here's what I realized. After a while, I would just end up changing my style entirely because I felt like I was becoming repetitive. And every single time I did that, people stopped watching as many videos anymore. But after 2 or 3 months of having that style, my views kept on growing and I would start to have momentum. So I was constantly killing my momentum after going through the 2 or 3 months of building that style by always changing it right when I should have stuck with it instead. So for the last 4 months, I stopped doing that. It was pretty self-explanatory. I just kept my own style and let it do its magic. And the thing is, I actually have way more ideas now. And because I don't switch my style every few months, I have way more of an identity. Like, people know what to expect from me. But there are still times when I think I always do this top-down shot, or I always show things like this. Shouldn't I spice it up? So it's a bit hard to know how to deal with this kind of imposter syndrome. And what I did was tone that voice down, and I kept on adding on top of my style. So for example, let's say I like a cinematic shot from a movie, or I like a setup. I'll take that core idea and ask myself, how can I actually make this my own? Because now I have a style, I have this kind of filter that I can put things in and get a totally different result. So let me show you how to do this too. So you have your style, the thing you created, and instead of constantly changing it to what's interesting and new, you just keep building on top of it. If you look at all your favorite YouTubers and content creators, you'll actually see they did this too. Like, actually pick a few of their videos from last year and you can see the same style but only worse because, you know, they kept on improving over time. Think of it like a painting or a drawing. If you always start a sketch but never finish it, or even add things to it, you'll basically never have a finished painting. Just attempt at one. And you can't really know if a style is for you unless you really try it for a long time. But on the other hand, if you keep on doing the same thing, you'll eventually be like, I really need to change something or things will get boring. And the reality is, people don't care. Your reality is different from the reality of the people watching your content. Because for you, one video takes hours and hours to make, so you're constantly exposed to that style. But for the other people, they watch a reel or a 10-minute video with that style and it's on top of of all the different videos they watch. So really, it doesn't get old because they have their own lives. They just don't have the time to realize your style is repetitive. Think about it. If you're exposed to anything for hundreds of hours, you will eventually get bored of it. It doesn't matter who you are. You shouldn't change your style because of it, because that would mean changing your identity. But what you can do is change your perspective, because sometimes you're too close to the picture to see that you need to take a step back. One thing that really helped me keep the same style without feeling overwhelmed and repetitive was to realize that everything in our lives is predictable. We eat the same foods, we like the same songs, and we wear the same clothes because humans are designed to form habits. And in real life, it's not affecting you one bit. Your friends don't think you're lame because you listen just to like rock music or you like one artists. Like, they genuinely don't care. So think of your audience as your friends. They have so much stuff thrown at them constantly, and if they enjoy watching your videos, then it'll still feel fresh if you keep the same style. I'm just telling you all of this because it's genuinely helped me stay more consistent and become better at making videos that not only look better but also feel more like me, you know, instead of another influencer that I copied the style from. But this is on the feeling side. I also do something else that helps me actually keep it fresh, and that is just adding on top of it. Like I said earlier, your style works as a kind of filter. You put something in and you get a totally different output. And this can only happen if you stuck with that style for a long time, because style is a way to see the world. It's a way of showcasing an idea in a different way. So for example, let's say I want to show 1,000 people visually. I could do this in many ways. I can edit it in and have a visual on screen, or I could draw it on a piece of paper or play with textures to show it handmade. Or if I was really into clay, I could have manually made 1,000 little pieces and zoomed out to show the scale of it. What I did was take the original idea, put it through the filter, which in this case is your own style, and then get a totally different output because of it. So now if you consume content from different mediums like a song, a design, or a certain movie, you can actually take those original ideas and shape them to fit your own style. And now, instead of copying, you're adapting. This is also related to my video about copying and imposter syndrome, but really, if you want to have a stronger sense of self, you need to stick with the things you like rather than always changing them. When people subscribe, they basically do it because they like what you made. If you change it too much, then it won't be what they signed up for. So you really have the freedom to expand your style. But how do you actually get a good style? Not just style, but one that feels strong and intentional, like something beautiful. Because there's a difference between having a style and having a sense of style. A sense of style means you can look at something and immediately know if it fits you or not. Like a filter in your head that just works constantly. And the way you build that is honestly through one thing: consuming a lot of content. Not just content from your niche. I mean everything. Architecture, fashion, film, music, photography. The best creators I've seen pull references from places that have nothing to do with YouTube. But here's the thing: consuming on its own is not enough. You have to be intentional about it. When you watch something that you like, you have to constantly ask yourself, what exactly do I like about it? Is it the colors, the composition, the pacing, the storytelling? The more specific you are, the better you'll be at taking that idea, putting it through your own style, and getting a different output. Most people watch and just feel something. The ones with a strong self of style watch and understand why they feel it. And once you can do that, you can steal it properly. You're not just copying the output, you're understanding the decision behind it. Your sense of style gets sharper the longer you stick with one, because you start noticing what works and what doesn't within your own world. You develop opinions. Ira Glass actually talked about this years ago, and it kind of stuck with me. You get into creative work because you have good taste, but for a while, the stuff you make doesn't actually live up to what you know it could be. And that gap is pretty brutal. It makes you want to switch the style because you think the style is the problem, but it's not. The style is fine, you just need more reps. So the goal isn't to close the gap overnight, it's to just keep on making things and trust that the gap gets smaller every time. Because here's what actually happens when you stick with a style long enough. You stop thinking about it. It becomes second nature. Like, you don't think about how you walk or how you talk. You just walk. That's what a developed sense of style feels like. You just become a natural at it. So all of these people you see online with insane style and composition and lighting and just amazing content, that's based on thousands of hours and hundreds of videos. They, like you, changed their style a ton of times before actually landing on one that has now become the style they're known for. So keep doing what you do and don't listen to the voice in your head that's constantly trying to switch your style up, because it's not true. If you like this video, then like and subscribe, because I'm making my best to make them twice a week. And I also post daily on Instagram over at Rob on Film. So if you want to check that out, that would be amazing. I really appreciate that you watched until the very end. And if you want me to talk about any subject in content creation, let me know. Thank you for watching and see you in the next one.